Alright guys, so here we are. Anything look a little different? Back to being level. I took it down to the machine shop, did a Facebook post and got on a machine website, a couple different machining Facebook pages and asked around. And the best information I got was kind of mixed between the two. A lot of people said heat it up completely, put it in an oven, whatever's safe for the powder coat. And the sleeves should basically drop out or be able to be removed by hand with a pair of gloves. And then a couple other people said, it's only a few millimeters. Set it up on wood blocks and just throw it in the press and press it back down. So took it to the machine shop and he didn't have an oven, and he said he would give it a try and try to do it as safe as possible because it was such a little amount. So he sent me home to just run down and grab a piece of wood because he didn't have any wood there, and make it to fit. That way it covers all four sides on the bottom here. A little bit of support here and here, and then of course a lot here and here. And then I was basically pressing straight down on the sleeve. Didn't put any pressure on the jug itself or ruin my surfaces. And one little hit with the hydraulic press and popped right in place. So lucky me, happy. So now I'm just going to resurface this. I'll take my piece of 400 grit sandpaper and tape it to a sheet of flat glass. And I'll just set the weight of the head on there and work it back and forth. Make sure that this is all the same, and then I get all this little powder coat and stuff off. And then I'll flip it over on this side and just double check with the razor blade that I get all the surfaces, because this is already pretty flat. And then I'll put my O-ring on, and then I think I'm going to attempt to paint this for the decompression cable. And I might go ahead and throw my valves in. So I just got information today that my piston shipped coming from Ohio, and then my last seal for the valve cover came from BikeBandit.com, and that comes out of California. So I know the one from California will be here in about a day or two, but I'm not sure about the one from Ohio. And I leave Sunday for a month of training, so I'm really hoping that thing comes in like Friday, and I can put the rest of the stuff together. I'll still be waiting on that side cover seal, which I got to go ahead and order. But it'd be nice to be able to put this thing in, put it together, get the piston in there, file fit the rings, and be able to hit the Kickstarter and be able to hear it move and see if it pops in and out of gear and see how good of a job I did with that bottom end. Because I'm not really sure if I told you guys, I didn't really show you much of the bottom end yesterday, but I took that thing apart, had it powder coated, took every bearing, every seal, every single thing out of the bottom end, and bought all OEM Honda bearings, seals, thrust washers, basically anything that could move or wear. The only thing I didn't change was the rod bearing because it was nice and tight. Kind of wishing I would have just to say I did it, but crank bearings, and then I did a new center gasket and put everything together with assembly lube, and that bottom end should be rock solid. I mean, I don't see, there wasn't any too much scoring on the rod or on the crank or anything like that. Like I said, every single bearing and seal, even the majority of it was new bolts for like the case bolts and the side cover bolts. The majority of those were brand new OEM. Everything I bought was OEM Honda, right from BikeBandit.com. There was I think one seal out of the whole bottom end that that you couldn't get from anymore from Honda. So I typed in the number of that seal on eBay and ended up finding it from like $5. Took like friggin' 6 weeks to get here from China, but it was the right one and it fit perfect. So other than that, it's pretty well ready to go. Put the oil filter side cover on. I got the O-ring for that. Got to track down. Oh, that's what it's in that bag that I was looking at the other day. There's a spring and an O-ring in there. That's what it goes to. So we'll get that new OEM Honda oil filter in there and the powder coated side cover, and then we'll get ready to throw that clutch cover side cover on, and we'll be rocking and rolling and hopefully uncover this damn thing. But yeah, everything's starting to look real good. Polished up those valve covers just a little bit, not perfect, but you don't see them anyway. And probably start test fitting maybe tonight. Test fitting all the bolts and make sure I get them all in the right spot. That way I don't have to figure it all out when I actually do the put the Honda Bond on top, the little gasket maker stuff on top. And then once I get that stuff on, get those bolt holes all cleaned out, I'll be able to put the motor in the frame. And I don't know if I'll be able to hear it run really before I deploy, but at least be able to get the carburetor mounted, get all the stuff on there, reheat shrink and double check and clean up all the wiring harness, and get it all zip tied nice and neat on the frame, and possibly hear it run. I'm going to run the 400EX carburetor, and I got to modify the 400EX exhaust So it'll be a little bit of work, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. But I really would like to hear it run before I deploy. But that's kind of really looking real slim because I only have a few days of leave and then come back, pack, move, store my vehicle, drive to New York, drive back, all that kind of stuff. So it's a rarity that it'll actually happen. But, you know, I can keep my hopes high. And at least this way it'll be motivating when I come back. Like, hey, the thing's almost together, the motor's in, just got to hear it run, you know, and square away the wiring, the lights, and all the bearings in the whole frame are brand new. All the fenders are brand new. All the rubbers are brand new. New stickers. And then I just got to get this gas tank painted and bodywork. I got three 350X gas tanks. 2 of them which are sandblasted. One's dented up pretty bad. And then one has pinholes. So I'm trying to find a place that can fix the pinholes because that's the better tank. Maybe braze or TIG weld them. I don't like any sort of chemical like gas tank sealants or JV weld or anything like that. I just don't like that stuff. It always fails. And I want to get those gas tanks. Probably just take them both and see if I can get them both done. And maybe throw one on this one. Or just save it and hang on to it when I build that frame back there. Because I like to fix that weld job on there. And then take the frame apart and go ahead and redo that frame. That one I probably won't powder coat and everything. That one's titled. So I'd like to be able to go through and paint that one. And have it to where it's a really decent rider. Like in good shape. Maybe a nice set of used 85 fenders. And run all 85 stuff on it. That one has the reason the guy quit riding it in '98 was he had started leaking oil out of the center cases, so we had someone weld aluminum weld on there. They didn't do that good of a job, so I'm thinking I could split the cases and take the weld off, and then take it to a good weld shop or a good machine shop and have it welded aluminum TIG and then machine flat. I think it'll be all right. But that was. The stuff that was in that one was in really good shape. I looked at the flywheel; it's in awesome shape. Still had OEM piston, the top end, the cam, everything was excellent. No one ever ran it dry in oil, so it's a good. I think it's a good motor to build. But I've used the top end off of that one to put on this one, so I'll have to search around through my parts again to find a good top end. Probably the only thing I'll be looking for is a good head, and I'll be able to get that one together. But that's long time down the road. Probably get to that Tecate before then, but. Story is now, let's get this one done and get it together. But I'll probably post this video today just to show the progress. Super excited that thing finally worked out. And hopefully this weekend I'll start getting parts, start putting this head together, start putting piston and stuff in. And hopefully maybe by the end of the weekend have this motor done and actually in the frame, because I could put that side cover on with the new seal and that other thing on afterwards, because you could put that on in the frame. I might just put it on there to keep the dirt and stuff out of it, with just a couple bolts and stick it in the frame and then take it back off real quick. But anyway, that's it for now. I might do another clip here later. I might just put it in the next video of the valve springs and stuff going in. But anyway, thanks for watching. Alright guys, quick clip. Here's the new valve seals. Threw a little bit of assembly grease on there and just popped them right on there. Now next is going to be to oil up the thrust washers and throw those on. And then it'll be each valve one at a time with my new RD valve springs from Megacycles. Alright guys, so I got one valve installed. I'm probably going to forget what it's called. But anyway, you don't use these thrust washers from the instructions that I got with the RD valve springs. Instead of using those thrust washers, you use these bottom, they call them like bottom retainers or something like that. So you slide that on and it doesn't seat down all the way down in the groove. It just sits on top of the seat, which kind of weird to me, but they're a lot stronger. The other ones I can put a thumb on each side and push them down and have the wife reach in with a magnet and pull the keepers out. These ones are not even close to being able to do that. But yeah, you put them in first, I guess, with just the small spring from the inner and the top, and then you put the keepers in and you measure from the bottom of that plate to the top of this plate. Looks like your outer spring height or whatever, outer spring valve height. Never had to do that before, but they're dead on. I checked them all, and they're within tolerance. Supposed to be like 1.13 to 1.16, and they're all right on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting these valves in. Starting to get excited about all these new parts. Alright, there they are guys. Weisico valve seals and RD valve springs installed. Not bad. It's funny, the last one, like literally pushed it down with the valve spring compressor and they both popped on. This one took about, I don't know, 20 minutes. Wife holding the flashlight, trying to run the screwdriver. Me working back and forth, trying to get the damn thing in there. First one would drop in, and then I'd try to get the next one with a magnetic screwdriver. This one would move, and then they wouldn't just go in. And then she no longer left, and I stuck this one down, and they both fell right in place. But overall, not a difficult install. Just put the small spring on first, and do your measurement. Make sure it's in spec. The only other thing that I'd read in the little instruction thing that they sent me. See, there's the little diagram with the cups in the bottom and all that kind of stuff. There's the measurements, 1.13 and 1.16. They left a phone number on there. Said you're only supposed to use them with RD, OEM style RD pistons and stuff. So if you're going to use a different type of piston or a different company, call them to check compatibility. I'm almost positive I asked Mechacycles. I told them what piston I was running, and I'm almost positive they said that it would clear and it would be fine. But as far as what I could tell, everything's in spec and ready to go, I hope. These springs are, I'd say, like twice as strong. Because the other ones I could push down with both thumbs with both springs on enough to get the keepers out. And these ones you can't even get them to budge. So they're pretty strong. So this new cam and 10.25 to 1 Weisico piston and this bigger cam and these tougher springs and everything, I think it's going to be a pretty rotten motor. But that's all for tonight. Starting to get kind of late, so I'll go ahead and probably post this video real quick and wait on that seal and that other that piston ring set. So I'll keep you guys updated. Thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, and commenting, all that good stuff.